honor to present my paper on harnessing solid minerals for economic diversification and sustainable development in Kebbi State. The paper seeks to discuss the potential of solid mineral as a catalyst for diversifying Kebbi State economy, as well as to critically examine the challenges and opportunities that may accompany the development. The presentation intends to contribute to the conversation about economic diversification and sustainable development in Kebbi State by putting light on the role of solid minerals, by promoting the intended structural transformation that is wished to be achieved. By way of introduction, why do we need to diversify our economy? Traditionally, Nigeria relied on crude oil for more than 80% of its foreign exchange earnings and other government revenues like royalties and taxes. This heavy reliance exposed the economy to global oil fluctuations, making diversification imperative. Economic diversification is not optional, therefore, but necessary and urgent. The volatility of oil markets, coupled with unemployment and revenue instability, compel us to broaden our economic base into mining, agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Kebbi State is endowed with large quantity of mineral resources that have not been exploited. Therefore, we have mineral resources like gold, silver, limestone, gypsum, iron ore, kaolin, among others. This remain largely unexploited, representing latent potential for sustainable development. Continue. To enhance clarity and engagement, to allow for to interrogate issue, explore solution, and allow solid mineral development with economic diversification and sustainability, my presentation is going to be in the form of questions and answers. The first question is, what is economic diversification? Economic diversification are deliberate actions. When we say economic diversification, we meant deliberate actions, processes, or procedures that are taken in order to broaden the economic base of a country or of any economy, to stimulate industry, create jobs, and enhance growth, which will result in secure, sustainable income and structural transformation of the economy. Economic diversification reduces vulnerability to external shocks by widening the productive base. In Nigeria, this means moving beyond petroleum dependence to mining, agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Its ultimate goal is to create a resilient economy which is inclusive, improved, and also transformative. Next slide. What is sustainable development? When we mean sustainable development in the context of mineral exploitation, we meant responsible exploitation of our mineral resources. By exploiting our mineral resources responsibly, we are going to achieve balanced economic growth, environmental issues, and social goals, which will ensure intergenerational equity and long-term prosperity. Sustainable development in the context of mineral exploitation goes beyond immediate gains. It emphasizes responsible mining practices that minimize environmental damage. It emphasizes responsible mining practices that minimize environmental damage while maximizing socio-economic benefits. The approach ensures that today's exploitation does not compromise the future generation's ability to enjoy the resources. It integrates economic growth with environmental stewardship and social responsibility, aligning with global sustainable development goals. The next question is that, do Kebbi State have mineral resources? Yes, we have solid mineral resources in large quantity. We have gold, limestone, gypsum, copper, iron ores, manganese, kaolin, dimensional stone, scattered all over the state. And this gives us strong potential for industrial clusters and downstream value chains to be set up. Kebbi State possesses a wide range of high-demand mineral resources such as gold, silver, etc. These minerals are not only abundant, but they are strategically positioned for industrial exploitation. If efficiently harnessed, they can support industrial clusters such as cement manufacturing, ceramics, iron smelting, and gold refining. The integration of these resources into downstream value chains will generate employment, attract investment, and diversify the state revenue sources. Okay, these main resources that we have, what is the quantity and the quality? You see, these are the two most important questions desired by any investor in the mining sector. He's interested in the quantity and the quality of the mineral resources. Yes, our mineral resources, the mineral resources in Kebbi State, they are in large quantity because there has been mining activities for over 30 years, like the gold in Bini Yauli and Libata. I know that there has been illegal mining activities there for more than 30 years in Libata and Bini Yauli and Co. And also, the gold is of high quality. If it's not a high quality, nobody will have been exploiting it. So, and the quality of the gold in Libata and Bini Yauli is very high compared to gold deposits in South Africa, in Australia, etc. Because I'm a living example. I had a PhD student who was a former DG of raw material start, still raw material start exploration. He did a PhD under me on Libata gold deposit. We took large samples to Australia and South Africa. We analyzed those gold samples. We found out that our gold sample, the gold sample in Bini Yauli is almost 5 times in purity than the gold sample in Australia and South Africa. Because in Australia, the range is around 5 to 7 ppm. But in Nigeria, our own is 20 to 30 ppm in gold content. So Kebbi State holds commercially valuable quantity of minerals validated by Nigerian Geological Survey studies. The deposits are scattered, but tracing, but significant enough for large-scale exploitation. In terms of quality, the gold deposits are of a higher grade, like the one in Australia and South Africa, making it attractive for artisanal and industrial scale mining. Limestone deposits are small grade position caving for cement production and related industry. This dual advantage of quantity and quality makes the state highly competitive in the Nigerian mineral sector. Next slide, please. This slide shows the distribution of various mineral resources of Kebbi State. If you look at in each of local government in Kebbi State, there is single mineral. There must be a mineral resource in each of the state. Sometimes like gold, you find that gold is in more than 7 local government of the state. The gold there is in more than 7 local government. Iron ore is in Bondu, copper, and the rest of it. This category, we have what we call metallic minerals. We have metallic minerals that serve as source of metal. Then we have solid minerals that serve as source of raw material directly into the industry. Then we have what we call gemstone for jewelry and the rest of them. Then we have what we call strategic minerals. These strategic minerals are very, very important. They are very strategic. So they are not found everywhere. So if you look at here, yesterday the governor, they were talking about the governor having signed an MOU with a company that's coming to set up a cement plant in Myanmar. There is limestone in Myanmar and somewhere there in Pakistan. So if you look at that, the state has been enriched with all the solid minerals. These solid minerals, they are not the only one. These are only the ones that have been surveyed. And the survey is just primarily surveyed, not detailed survey. So all the mineral resources for Kebbi State are there and the rest. So by seeing this, is that if the state government can set up nationally to harness, to explore these mineral resources. We are going to set up so many industries will come out of the mineral resources of the state. Yeah, sorry. So, what are the potential of these mineral resources to the state? These mineral resources have the potential to drive industrialization and strengthen manufacturing base. If these minerals are explored and they are going to drive industrialization and strengthen manufacturing base, thereby strengthen the revenue and fiscal stability and create fiscal stability, attract domestic and foreign investment, and also technology transfer. Generate employment across the value chains. Then catalyze infrastructural development like roads, power, and processing plants. Because if these mineral resources are going to be exploited, infrastructures must be developed, and these infrastructures are going to bring development into the rural community or into the remote community where these mineral resources are located. You see, the mineral resources of Kebbi State present transformative potential. They can stimulate industrialization by serving as raw material for cement, ceramic, steel, and fertilizer industries. Diversifying state revenue reduces dependence on federal allocation and oil proceeds. High-grade mineral resources will attract capital inflow and technology transfer. Employment opportunity will emerge along the value chain from extraction to processing and logistics. Furthermore, industrial activity in mining often necessitates supporting infrastructure such as roads, energy supply, and processing plants, which in turn promote regional development. Now, how do our mineral resources going to drive diversification? Our mineral resources in the state are going to drive diversification by establishing processing plants like cement making, ceramic plant, then metallurgical industry for refining and value of the metals and the rest of them. Then by boosting allied sectors. The construction sector, the cement company will boost the construction sector, agriculture, fertilizer from phosphate, from gypsum, from limestone, we can produce mineral fertilizers, create export and imports, and increase foreign exchange money for the state. And then also develop mineral-based industry and clusters and parks. Mineral resources have driven diversification primarily by stimulating value addition through processing industries such as cement plants, ceramic factories, and metallurgical complexes. This industry creates backward and forward linkages that strengthen other sectors. For example, limestone supports the construction industry, gypsum aids agriculture through fertilizer, and coal and iron feeds the energy and steel industries. Furthermore, processed mineral products offer opportunity for export, generating foreign exchange, and improving the balance of payment. The cluster of this industry in mineral-based industrial park creates synergies, reduces costs, and fosters sustainable industrial ecosystem. Then, which of our industries are going to be impacted by the exploitation of these mineral resources? Which of our industries are going to be impacted? Our agriculture industry is going to be impacted by fertilizer production through use of our gypsum, limestone, and phosphate that are available. Our construction industry, cement will be there for the construction industry, aggregates, non-aggregate, building stone, tiles, POP, all of them will be produced from the state. The manufacturing industry, the ceramic industry, glass, metallurgical industry, energy industry, coal, deposits, lithium are there as source of energy. You see, if you look at the limestone, we are happy that we have the limestone in Myanmar, while the coal is in Gondu, very close. If you look at Goa, cement, you see them, they carry coal, they transport coal from Kebbi State to Sokoto State. Because coal is a major import, you see in Nigeria, you cannot rely on NEPA, you cannot rely on electricity. So any industry, any steel industry has to have its own power supply. So you can use the coal to generate your own power, and also the coal can be used in the making of cement. So this is very important. If the cement company that will be taken up in Myanmar, the coal is there in Bondu, that is all. The coal will just be transported from Bondu to Myanmar. There can be a mini power plant to be set up in Myanmar and the rest of them, and the coal will be just brought there, and then our cement company will take up. So then we have other services industry, like logistics, finance, transportation, machine hiring will also be set up, will also be impacted. You see, the impact of mineral-driven diversification will go across multiple sectors of the Kebbi's economy. Agriculture benefits from mineral-based fertilizers that can enhance productivity. The construction sector thrives on cement, aggregates, and dimensional shell, supporting urbanization and infrastructure growth. Manufacturing is possible through ceramics, glass, and metallurgical industries. Energy diversification becomes possible through the use of coal and lithium. Certain energy security. Finally, the service sector, particularly logistics, finance, and transport, will expand to support the mining and industrial value chain, creating a multiple effect through the state economy. So what opportunity does this our mineral resources offer? What opportunity does this our mineral resources offer? Our mineral resources offer opportunity in many ways, like in value addition. You can have industry also increasing the value. You see, our mineral resources, if we do not add value to our mineral resources, we are not going to drive maximum benefit from it. Because anybody that is buying our raw ore, there's somebody buying a copper ore. Sometimes most of the copper ore, they are associated with trace amount of silver and gold. But when the copper ore is being priced, it is only priced for copper. Other hidden elements are not priced for. So when they carry them, go outside, they take everything and they take the benefit and get the gold and silver associated with copper. After all, they only pay for copper here in Nigeria. So value addition is very important. So when we are going to explore our mineral resources, we should also ensure that we add value to them. There should be only value addition. Then the opportunity also, the opportunity for public-private partnership for investors, for investment and infrastructure. You know, the government alone cannot set up mining industries. Because mining industries are very capital intensive, and it takes a very long time to recover your investment. So normally it's through the PPP that normally you help them either during exploration or exploitation. Then for modernization of artisanal mining, this is very important. The exploitation of our mineral, government getting involved in the exploitation later will solve the problems of the miners of illegal mining. Because these illegal miners, they can be formalized into artisanal miners and then form into cooperatives so that the government can monitor what they are doing and also collect taxes from them. Now nobody is benefiting except the miners and then maybe the community. Even the community overall, they are not benefiting because they are damaging their environment at the end. You find out that at the end of mining activity, they will not be able to settle there because they will not even have farmland to farm in the place. So we talk of cross-border trade, opportunities and neighboring countries. But we had the opportunity to have cross-border trade with other countries. Even now, people are coming from Mali, from Senegal to come and mine in Nigeria. But the government of Nigeria is not getting any benefit from it. There's skill development and research and collaboration with university. You see, for us to exploit our minerals, we need skilled manpower, which is presently not there. So we have to train our labor, the skills to be used. So Kebbi State minerals present vast opportunities. First, beneficiation and processing add value to raw material, enabling higher return and returning the export of a process work. Public-private partnerships are critical in mobilizing capital and technology for large-scale projects. Formalizing artisanal manner transform informal activity into structural cooperatives, ensuring safety, environmental compliance, and higher productivity across trade. Offers a ready market, especially with West African world. Finally, leveraging skill development, research collaboration between academia, industry, and government institutions with steady innovation both capacity and sustainability and the rest of them. The first one, okay, we are talking of the challenges now. What are the challenges? You see, at present, the way we are, there are going to be a lot of challenges if we are going to exploit our mineral resources. One of the first challenges is the poor geological data. The data available are not, I can't say they are not detailed. They are just, some of them are just hearsay. They are not detailed because they are not detailed exploration. The real quantity now, even the gold deposit we are touching, if you are asked how many million metric ton it is, nobody can say. So that is one of the challenges that will be faced. And also the investors, they need this for informed decision taking. They need to know, they need to have the geological data and the geological map everything. Because you see, even for simple exploration, they have to go to the bank and borrow money. So even to come and explore first, they have to go to the bank and borrow money. So they need, for them to get an encouragement, they need for, a good geological data. The government can help that. Even our universities here in Kebbi, they can have geology department and engage their students in field trips. So they can, they can be able to generate, they will be able to generate a lot of geology data for the pilot deposits that are located in the state. Then infrastructural gaps, definitely infrastructural gaps exist because most of these mineral deposits, they are located in remote areas. And also, in the remote area, there are no good roads, there are unreliable electricity, and no networks. Because mining involves carrying transporting large volume of material, hundreds of tons. You can see how many tractors, how many trailers Goa has, how many trailers Dangote has for its own, just for its own company. So that's very important. Then environmental risks. If the mining is not done responsibly, what we end up with land degradation, water pollution, air pollution, and then conflicts. That is what is going on. Illegal, because it will lead to conflicts between the government, between the host community, and even the miners. I think recently the governor was in Biniyawi where he suspended all the mining activity because there was conflict between the community and the miners that led to the death of some people. So illegal mining is also associated with insecurity, with drug abuse, prostitution, and the rest of them. So we have to discourage illegal mining. It's also associated with insecurity, cultism, prostitution, child labor. Again, that is one problem now. Because illegal mining encourages child labor. There are so many children that left school to go and get engaged in illegal mining, which is very bad for our future. Then we have weak institutions. We have weak institutions and frameworks and regulatory enforcement. The institutions are very weak. The regulatory and enforcement institutions are very weak now. In order to have a sustainable mining, in order to have sustainable mining practices, we have to empower, we have to change our regulatory framework. Even though that we shouldn't be so stringent to discourage the investors, but we have to make sure that the laws protect the community, protect the environment, and also there must be enforcement of those laws. Then, what are the benefits that we are going to drive from diversification of our economy through the use of our mineral resources? One of them, we are going to broaden our revenue base and reduce reliance on oil. Then there will be job creation, which will result in poverty alleviation across the value chain. Then regional integration, there will be integration between the other countries that will come to invest or to buy raw material from us. Then there will be improved infrastructure, because all these areas where these mines will be set up, infrastructure, roads must be built, clean hospital must be built, electricity must be taken there, and then so this will result in the urbanization of the rural community. That will also reduce rural-urban migration and the rest of them. Then long-term sustainable growth and research, that will result in long-term sustainable growth and rest of them. Then, what are the strategies that we require? What are the strategies that we require in order to exploit our mineral resources responsibly and then have sustainable growth? One of the strategies that you should have geological survey and transparent data to inform investment. So we have excellent, we should have true geology, we should have large, we should have a good geological surveys and that collects transparent data that is reliable and also that is available to everybody. So for informed investment, because you can make the data, you can put them on the internet, and investor anywhere he is, if you look at the data, this is what we have, the guy can immediately contact you, and then we have to strengthen our mining laws and enforcement to ensure compliance. Then invest in infrastructure. The state government has to also contribute in the building of infrastructure through the PPP. Because the present, the investors themselves cannot build all the infrastructure that are required. So there must be investment from them. Then we have to develop human capital. So our polytechnics here and the rest of them, they have to start training people in mining. They should have diploma in mining engineering for training middle level manpower for mining. Because in the whole country, there are only 3 universities that are offering mining engineering: Akure, Jos, and ABU. Even ABU, we just started. Our second set have just graduated. But except Polytechnic, Kaduna Polytechnic, that's only where we train mining engineer. So also it is good that the state Polytechnic, Polytechnic here should also have mining engineering program in preparation for the exploitation of our mineral resources. Then we have to develop public-private partnership, for funding and technology transfer. Then we have to integrate the local communities into mining for shared benefits. You see, we should carry the local community along in the mining just to avoid conflicts. And also, so it's very important we have to integrate the local community. Very, very important in mining for shared benefit. And also in the mining, we should ensure that in our framework that we emphasize on corporate social responsibility for the communities. That should be possible for the community. Maybe the mining company will be forced to build schools, hospitals, or to give scholarship, bring water, borehole for the community in order to have peace, and in order for the community to have a sense of belonging that they are benefiting from their mineral resources. Then, what are the potentials? What are the potential industries that will arise when we exploit our mineral resources? So, cement and building material industry, from limestone and this, all this company will come. Then, ceramic and glass production from clay, silica, phosphor, and rest of them, fertilizer and agro inputs, gold processing and jewelry manufacturing, iron and steel mini mills, dimensional stock company, etc. So, a range of industries, maybe around 15 to 20 industries, will also emerge from the exploitation of our mineral resources. In conclusion, Kebbi mineral resources are a strategic tool for economic diversification. With sound policies and sustainable principles, we are going to have a balanced growth that will transform Kebbi into a model for mineral-driven development in Nigeria. In conclusion, Kebbi State mineral development is more than a natural asset. It is a strategic tool for sustainable development, for economic diversification and sustainable development. However, its success hinges on adaptation of strong policies, transparent governance, and sustainable principles that balance economic, environmental, and social goals. If properly harnessed, Kebbi can serve as a model for mineral-driven development in Nigeria, showcasing how mineral resource wealth can be converted into broad-based prosperity and long-term resilience. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you once again for this resourceful and impactful presentation. I believe Kebbi State is rich, Kebbi State is extremely rich, Kebbi State is blessed, Kebbi State is excellent. The presence of Engineer Abdulaziz Umar from Naseni, Mr. Ado Galakima, Ms. Yetun